Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I would like to express our gratitude and appreciation to the board of committee for giving us opportunity to present our paper entitled The Islamic Political School of Gerwani in the Sukarno Era. This paper is written by Deden Rahmanuddin and Bahrun Mubarok. In this paper, I'm not going to talk about Gerwani as the wing group of Indonesian Communist Party now. I'm not going to talk about its joining this political group. I'm not going to talk about its movement, its political movement. Rather, I'm going to focus on its struggle for the equality of women. In the first part, I would like to talk about gender phenomenon in the past and in the present time. Gender phenomenon, past and now. As the third largest women organization in the world and with a membership of 1.5 million women in 1965, Gerwani not only focused on fighting for women's rights, but also being active in international activities such as the anti-nuclear movement and the anti-colonial movement. This enabled Gerwani's role to be more brilliant on all fronts, including the presence of Gerwani cadres in parliaments. Along its journey, Gerwani's political school received opposition from some figures, some Islamic figures such as Buya Hamka and President Sukarno through his refutations in various speeches and his book entitled Sarina, Women's Obligations and Struggle of the Republic of Indonesia. Number two, Gerwani, the symbol of resistance and the struggle for gender equality. There are three pictures on the screen. I would like to explain about them. Number one, the picture of Umi Sarjono. She was the chairwoman of Gerwani. She was also among one of women fighters for Indonesian freedom in the era of Japan occupation, in the era of Japanese occupation. And the second picture in the middle, it was Yati Aruti, one of women figures. She was not one of the members of Gerwani, but she was interested in Gerwani's movement, in Gerwani's struggles. She was interested in many Gerwani's involvement in the in the struggle for Indonesian freedom. But along its journey, Yati Aruji saw that this organization started to get away from Islamic values, and Yati Aruji tried to bridge between Gerwani and Islam, meaning that Yati Aruji wanted Gerwani to appreciate Islamic values, especially related to Islamic, related to equality. This Aruji. And the third picture It was about women's activists who voiced for the struggle of West Papua. Uh, it's worth knowing that Gerwani was also involved in voicing for the struggle of West Papua. Theoretical framework. As the theoretical framework, I mean, Islamic theoretical framework, we can gain this framework from uh, Surah An-Nisa, from chapter An-Nisa, verse 32. And do not crave what Allah has given some of you over others. Men will be rewarded according to their deeds, and women equally according to theirs. Rather, ask Allah for His bounties. Surely Allah has the perfect knowledge of all things. Gender is the sovereignty of the body. So women's bodies are their own inviolable authority, so that the roots of freedom to manage their bodies emerge, as stated by Dora Rusli, making women's bodies a political tool to achieve demands for women's rights. The idea of liberations of women's bodies in enjoying sexual pleasure is a theme that is repeatedly emphasized to give women progress toward equality and freedom. Equality in assessing the deeds women is equal to men in intellectual potential. Men, can think, can study, and then practice what they live from the remembrance of Allah. And they think from this universe, both male and female have equal opportunities without having to give up their uh, respective natures. The context of the Quran, Surah An-Nisa, verse 34, Arijalu Qawwamuna 'ala nisa, is not in the context of careers, including politics or the state, but the context of women's nature physically and instinctively. Discussion. Hamka, one of Muslim figures at the time, said that men and women have the same rights and obligations. It does not mean that only men's shoulders are strong enough to carry them. Women are also asked to carry them. This is what makes feminists think that the contents of the Quran Surah An-Nisa verse 34, which means men are protected for women, because Allah has favored some of them over some other because because the men have provided a living from their wealth. The above verse, interpreted by them, has the meaning of belittling women who must always be below men. An interesting fact is that national figures and Islamic figures such as Sukarno and Buya Hamka both practice polygamy. Yeah. But at the same time, they said that men and women have the same rights. While these two figures practice polygamy. However, both of them do not look down on women, but place the position of women on a high level, because basically women and men are equal before Allah. Emancipation in Islamic view. Equality in evaluating women's deed is equal to men in intellectual potential. Both have the same opportunity without having to give up their respective natures. The context of the Quran, Surah An-Nisa, verse 34, Arijalu Qawwamuna 'ala nisa, not in the context of careers, including politics or the state, but the context of women's nature, physically and instinctively. This study uses a type of research by reading and seriously studying reports journal articles, and books related to Gerwani's movement. The results of the study were compiled using qualitative methods and approaches and analyzed descriptively using feminism theory. And as a conclusion, the struggle for the independence movement in Indonesia is not only dominated by men, but also women. The role of women in the Indonesian independence movement can be traced through the existence of women's movements organization in the early 20th century. The background of the emergence of women's movement organization in Indonesia is related to the implementations of ethical policy by the Dutch colonial government. The application of ethical policy at the beginning at the beginning of the 20th century has created many important reforms that are synonymous with elements of modernity. Undoubtedly, the presence of feminism by Gerwani is a treasured trope of women's struggle in fighting for women's rights. That Gerwani must be in harmony with religious, cultural norms, and the 1945 Constitution is something that is copy, that is certain, that is a must. That is the end of our presentation. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.